Never do these things or say these things to a Capricorn man. Well, let's talk about it. Capricorn men pride themselves on being the top of the food chain, the top of the line. They pride themselves on being respected by the people they love and the people around them. So one thing you never want to do with a Capricorn man, especially when you're arguing or in a fight with one another, an argument or something like that, you never want to make that Capricorn man feel inferior, or you never want to embarrass that Capricorn man in front of people. If you have an argument with a Capricorn man, you want that argument to stay between you and that Capricorn man. All right? One way to get a Capricorn man to shut you out or not want anything to do with you is to bring other people into their business. Not only are Capricorn men and Capricorn people in general very prideful people, but they're also very private people as well. So they do not like everyone in their business. So one thing you shouldn't do as well is, if you are in a relationship with a Capricorn, don't tell everyone your business with that Capricorn man. Remember, a Capricorn prides themselves on being respected and being seen as a certain way by people. So, for example, if you're telling your mom, your sister, your brother, everything about what this Capricorn man is doing, what's going on in this relationship, and that Capricorn man comes around your mom, your brother, or your sister, it's going to be a little bit awkward for that Capricorn man, and they take so much pride in how people see them. And Capricorns want to be respected. They want to be appreciated, and they don't like when other people tamper with their public persona or tamper with how people view them, their self-image, the image that people see them as. Especially if they don't have any say in it, if you're doing it behind their back. Also, they don't like sneakiness. Capricorn men don't like sneakiness. Don't do things behind their back. One, because they're going to find out eventually. Capricorns are the masters of mind games and kind of, reading between the lines. So if they can't find it out through you, they will sneak and find it out themselves. Don't underestimate a Capricorn's man's sneakiness either. Don't obsess over the Capricorn. Capricorn men do not like obsession or obsessiveness energy, especially if it comes off as a little crazy or a little erratic or, not as easily controlled. So you really want to get control of yourself and your emotions and your obsessive nature if you kind of have that energy. Maybe you have strong Scorpio energy or Leo energy. I don't know, something like that. Those two signs can be a bit obsessive, but Capricorns don't like obsession. The only obsession that they have is money and career and maintaining their status in life. So if you can make that process easier for them, and, maintain your position in their life, and so you can maintain, the relationship that you two have together, then, do what you need to do. But try to give that Capricorn freedom and space to do what he needs to do as well. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad, like cheating or something like that, but Capricorns need their space to kind of figure things out. They're not people that can be easily persuaded. They're not people that can be easily coerced to doing something that they don't want to do, or to doing something in general that they haven't already themselves decided to do. It's going to be hard to get a Capricorn to change their ways. Capricorn is kind of like that old, no matter how old they are, by the way, Capricorns tend to be old souls by nature, but it's kind of like that old man who's just, or the old woman who's just kind of set in their way, and it's like you keep trying to change them, you keep trying to, show them, certain things and why they should change certain behaviors, but it's like talking to a brick wall. Speaking of change, one thing you don't want to do is try to change your Capricorn man. Capricorns are who they are. They are very stable people, very stubborn people as well. So once a Capricorn man has decided, made a decision to do something, or has made a decision to stick to something, they are going to stick to that. They're going to do that. And there's nothing you can do about it. The best thing that you can do when dealing with a Capricorn man is maintain control over self. That is the key to maintaining a relationship with a Capricorn man, but also maintaining your power in the relationship with a Capricorn man. Speaking of power, when dealing with a Capricorn man, you want to get the power dynamics set in stone prior to the relationship deepening, furthering. All right. So, for example, if a Capricorn has gotten used to you kind of like, how do I say this? If a Capricorn is used to kind of wearing the pants in a relationship and, being the one making decisions and maybe even being the one being the breadwinner, and you all of a sudden decide to switch up the game on the Capricorn, and maybe you want to work, or maybe you want to start wearing the pants a bit more, making decisions, that is going to irritate the Capricorn man, because these are not the rules that were set for the relationship prior to the relationship starting and deepening. So you have to understand that Capricorns are very rule-based people. They go by rules, and it's often like unsaid rules, rules that are unsaid, rules that are just kind of expected to be known. You don't have to really state them. You don't have to write them down on a bulletin board. You don't have to print out, rules for this relationship 101. No, it's just like it's expected to be understood when dealing with a Capricorn. Speaking of expected, don't assume with a Capricorn man, for example, if a Capricorn man comes home every night at 9 p.m. after work, don't assume, that is something that's going to be consistent. Maybe every now and then the Capricorn is going to want to go to the grocery store, or they're going to want to go to the bar and have a drink. And that kind of plays into that obsession again. I think sometimes people get used to Capricorn men and Capricorn men behavior, and people just assume that that's going to be the case for the remainder of the relationship, or the Capricorn's going to be consistent with that, over the years. But don't assume. But if you are struggling with something, if you do have a question, if there is something within the relationship that you're questioning or struggling with, ask the Capricorn. Don't be afraid to ask the Capricorn. Don't be afraid to confront the Capricorn about something that you're feeling, but do it in the right way. For example, don't assume that the Capricorn is going to know what you're talking about. Or don't assume that the Capricorn is going to be on the same level as you, as understanding, the depths of your emotions and why you feel the way you feel. You may have to explain that to the Capricorn. Capricorns can be a bit aloof in general, but they can be very aloof when it comes to emotions. So you yourself cannot be afraid to express your emotions and talk about your emotions with your Capricorn man. But once again, do it in a way that doesn't come off as obsessive, that doesn't come off as blaming the Capricorn for anything. Say things like, when you did this, it made me feel, instead of, I don't know, what would be the opposite of that? You made me feel, what you did made me feel versus you made me feel, because that, I don't know, that just puts a lot of pressure on Capricorn, because a lot of times they do things and they don't know that it hurts people's feelings until, down the line, someone says something and they're like, oh, I didn't realize that hurt your feelings, Speaking of which, when there's a problem with a Capricorn, bring it up as soon as possible. You don't want it to fester. When it comes to dealing with a Capricorn man, because oftentimes Capricorns can be very aloof to certain things. So the more that you bury emotions or feelings deep down, the more aloof that they become to those feelings and emotions. So you can't always necessarily blame a Capricorn when they, you haven't expressed to them what the issue is. Just keep that in mind. Capricorns are very structured and deliberate people. So they do things with structure, and they do things with deliberation. So you be the same way. You do things with structure when dealing with a Capricorn, and you do things with deliberation. For example, if you do have a problem with a Capricorn man, approach that Capricorn man with structure and with deliberation. I'm approaching you because I have a problem with you right now. Can we go somewhere and talk about this problem so that we can solve it? Capricorn men appreciate that type of energy, and it kind of turns them on as well. I'm just saying. This is coming from a Capricorn man, by the way, but I'm gay. So sorry to all the ladies out there. Hey to the fellas. If you're cute and all that type of stuff. No shade. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, comment. And I am a psychic tarot reader as well as an astrologer. So if you would like a personal reading from me, check out my website, Lamarr, townsendtarot.com. The link to my site is in the description box. It's also in the comment section. I hope you got something out of this video. Thank you for listening and watching. Subscribe. Watch all of my thousands of other videos that I have on my YouTube channel. Hundreds about Capricorn. And make sure you also like the video. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get a notification whenever I go live. Follow me on my social media pages. My Instagram is at Lamarr Townsend. My Facebook is Lamarr Townsend Tarot. The links are in the description box. And I look forward to reading for you for a personal reading. Just check out my website, purchase your reading directly from my website, and I'll email you a confirmation email as soon as possible, and we'll get your reading done within 1 to 3 days. Love and light, and until next time.